Hey guys, welcome back to the Golf Podcast and happy Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, man. I know you love this one.
My favorite holiday, you too.
Same.
Right?
Same.
But one big thing too, which we're going to dive into this in a second, is for golfers and a lot of people, you got to get excited because you know the deals are coming.
Yes,
right?
That's right.
So it's stock up time. So what we did was we started to put together a list. A lot of these deals won't be out until Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but we got a few sneak peeks. So we rounded up a couple of ones that you guys are not going to want to miss, and also just some tips for just getting the most value out of this week, because it's definitely, even though a lot of us were not playing golf right now, it was 19 degrees this morning here.
I know.
Ugh. But if nothing else, you can kind of get yourself stocked up on some of the stuff you need, and some of the deals are just unbeatable. So we're going to talk about that. But what we're also going to run through here, we got a fun segment today.
I can't wait for this.
We're going to run through the 10 ugliest trophies in golf.
Yep.
Now, this coming from two guys who would die to win any
of them.
Professional
Put
golf
any of them
trophy.
on my mantle.
I proudly display any of them.
Especially that bizarre number one you're going to see.
It is something. It is something. So we're going to run through them. We got some, and by the way, we'll try to describe them as best we can if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, but we're going to show them here too. If you get a chance to watch it, whether you watch the show on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, it's going to be worth a watch for that reason.
And stick around at the very end of the show, because I have a little surprise for you.
For me.
In regards to this whole trophy thing we got going.
Here we go. Here we go.
He's so nervous.
Yeah, I don't know
He's
what
so
this guy
nervous
cooks
about
up.
it. But
usually
it's
I make him run it by me first.
I didn't run this one by him.
But before we kick all that off, of course, we got to talk about Rory. It's just one thing, like, hats off to Rory and what he's done in the second half of this season. But also, to me, it's such a tell about golf in general. Mm-hmm. And anybody who plays the game knows what this is like to a certain extent. Of course, we don't know what it's like to be on number one in the world, but you know what it's like to have your game fluctuate so much. And a lot of people were posting this image of what a difference a year makes.
Yes.
So if we have that, we'll see if we can put that up here. But Rory, just from last year to this year, you remember when he ended the season last year,
ripped
the ripping the shirt?
Yeah.
And just the frustration just showing through. And this is a guy who's accomplished so much in golf. Mm-hmm. And it shows that he still experiences a lot of frustration.
Yeah, he does.
But what Rory himself even said it, though. He said, if you meet me about the halfway point of the season, and said by the end of this season, I would be world number one. He's the first person to accomplish this. World number one, FedEx Cup champ, and DP World Tour champion.
Right.
European Tour champion, all in the same year. That's incredible.
No one's ever done that?
No, as far as I know,
I don't think anyone's ever done that.
All three of them in the same year.
And you had an interesting question before of how many events did this guy even play to win the DP World Tour Championship? And we found it was about 10.
Yeah, it just shows how dominant you have to be when you're not playing regularly on that tour.
Right.
But yeah, so it's just like, again, what a difference a year makes. You have Rory ending last season. Mm-hmm. The image that captivated the end of last season for Rory was the ripped shirt. Look at him. There it is. We're showing it there. Angry. He tore his shirt apart, and everyone was saying, like, wasn't a good look. It was frustrating, but he's a human being. Emotions spill over.
Sure.
And then this year, seeing him holding the trophy after just an incredible streak, it just shows you these guys can get hot. And they can be up and down. For someone as dominant as Rory has been, they can have lows too. So it's like almost giving ourselves a little bit of a break when we're struggling out there and not playing our best, even though we may be playing for a couple of dollars in skins.
Right.
It still shows you golf is a game that at every level has its highs and lows.
We've seen it from a lot of golfers. They're on top of the world, then they disappear, then they come back strong. Some guys never make it back. Jason Day had a hot run, and then he kind of hasn't done anything since. Yeah. Spieth had that incredible 2015 or 2016, and then he slowly starting to come back and get in the winner's circle. He found a new swing. But Rory, hats off to this dude.
And I'll tell you what, hustler, Rory, for as long as he's been good, he was world number one, I think it was 2012. I saw another interesting graphic over the weekend. 2012 and now 2022. You talk about a 10-year span. He was world number one then, and he's world number one now. So although he's had the fluctuations and fallen up and down that list, to be able to, return to a level of dominance is something that's incredible. I think we'll see a lot of big stuff out of him. And, there's no denying he's a bit internally motivated by everything that's going on and the split in golf with Liv. He's been very vocal about that and all those things. Do I think it made the biggest difference? No, but I think it's a little bit of a motivational factor for him.
How many wins does he have? I think it's 26 I saw. 26 wins professionally, and he's what, 32? He might be 32, 33 years old. I'm just thinking, how many does this guy get? I mean, I think he goes down in history as like, you got Tiger, and then it's not Tiger and Phil. I think it goes Tiger, then Rory when it's all said and done.
In total wins?
I'm saying like...
he's got a long way to go.
Because Phil, I think, has 40 wins on tour. 40
yeah, but you still
wins.
have like the Sneeds and all those.
You have the older generation guys that
right. There's a lot
Rory
of guys
will never
on those
surpass.
lists with a lot of wins.
But as far as like current, like modern day guys that are still playing, like Rory, and if Tiger goes into retirement, like Rory's going to be the guy. You know what I mean? Like
with most wins.
I know I'm like phrasing that wrong. Tiger obviously he's a whole different category. Kick Tiger out. I'm saying like Rory's like the next guy in line after Tiger. Not in wins, just in modern day. Like that's the guy we want to be like.
Gotcha.
For the younger generation, everything. Because he's going to have like 45, 50 wins when he's all said and done. I could just easily see it.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt he's an icon for a lot of the younger generation to look up to and to aspire to. I think right now, Rory, his sights are just so squarely set on majors. I think
you don't think he's going to play like this rigorous schedule anymore?
Oh yeah, no, he will. I don't see any reason why he would back down his schedule. I think he'll continue that because he's still at that point where he's still young enough to compete that hard, and I think he wants to put a lot of eyeballs on the PGA Tour and play there. I just think that him ticking off wins is something that is obviously important to him. But I think the majors are really, he feels like that's where he's going to really make the most impact in his overall career resume is trying to put some more majors. Because he came out there hot out of the gate, won a lot of majors, and then just fell off. He hasn't won one.
He hasn't won one.
So I think this is a great momentum thing for him to win the FedEx Cup, to win the DP World Tour.
And it's full foot on the pedal for him right now. You don't take any like chill time. You don't just you don't skip the century. Like you go back next season going hard again.
Yeah, I think they like it's a tough season no matter what.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I think they take that December as much as they can in the December. But then they're back out there. He's in the match though too. So he's in the
match, not in the Hero. I don't think.
I'm not sure.
I don't think he plays the Hero.
That's next week, but he will be playing in the match. So it'll be exciting to see what he does. But no doubt, I think all of us are a bit surprised at how much he's turned it around and won it. And by all of us, I mean even from the quotes, Rory included. Yeah. But he's a fun guy to watch, and I think you're going to continue to see a hot streak out of him.
Always enjoyed watching that guy play.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk.
He always smells fantastic too. By the way, I've said this before. Every time I've been in that guy's presence, walked by him at whatever, it's the same cologne every time. And I told you, next time I'm going to ask him.
Right.
Like, what is
this? Is why he has that restraining order.
That's exactly why.
Right. Like,
by the way, Rory, you smell terrific. It's terrific, Rory. Whatever it is, I gotta get my hands on it.
Oh, those wins are impressive, but you smell terrific, and that's really where I'm the most impressed. Congratulations on all your success. You smell terrific. You guys know that quote. That's good on you.
Is that Ace Ventura?
Yeah, Ace Ventura. When he meets the
Tom Ace?
Yeah, Tom Ace. Lawyer?
No, he meets
Should I just call you lawyer?
Lawyer?
Right.
Lawyer.
No matter what is going on in my life, I can always watch them swim.
That's it.
All right, we can do that all day.
All day.
Let's talk about Black Friday deals. And when I say that, I mean, it's at this point, it kind of, for me, all melds together, Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Yep. Just like kind of deal season. Mm-hmm. And also, I feel like less and less pressure is being put on the day. I feel like more and more companies are releasing their deals throughout the month of November.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like the stock up time is November. Case in point of that was a lot of, and we had a report on this. Eric Benzenberg, one of our writers, did a terrific job rounding up a bunch of pre-Black Friday sales that was on the website the other day. And one of those was Club Champion. They are seemingly always good for some sort of deal right around now. Last year, they did 20% off gift cards. And gift cards, I mean, yes, it makes a great holiday gift too, but you can always buy them for yourselves. It's just basically saving 20%
Saving
on your
20%
spend.
off. Yep.
So if you know you're going to get fit, if you know you're going for a lesson, something like that, or buy some new equipment, you can buy the gift card and then use that to buy the equipment.
80 cents on the dollar, man. 80 cents on the dollar.
There you go. So they did a pre-Black Friday sale for 15% off.
Okay.
Which makes me feel like they're reserving that extra 5%. Again, this deal's not released yet. A lot of these don't release them right until the day of, so you got to watch them closely. But I think you're going to see another 20% out of Club Champion on Friday and Cyber Monday. I say the most important thing, we're going to try to highlight some of our favorite deals here, the ones that we've already know about or seen from historically. But just whatever all your favorite brands are, whatever you're thinking about, if you're thinking about buying some equipment, whatever it may be, just check on that day and see not only from the brand directly, but also check some of the third party, online sellers that even like I'm thinking like the Dick's Sporting Goods of the world.
Yeah, Global Golf
PGA Superstores
has a deal.
All of them end up having something going.
Yep, always.
And then you just use it and just tick it off and try to. I'm not the camp out guy.
I'm not even the shopping guy. I don't shop.
I do
you shop
everything online now.
Do you even shop?
Everything online for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
Sometimes we'll have to run to the store for some of my wife and I, but otherwise everything online. But I know even PGA Superstore, they still had in previous years, pre-COVID anyway. Let's see how much of this comes back now. They would have one or two of those really limited ticket items just to get people in the door that people would camp out for, like a driver for $100 or something like that.
Yeah,
it's too cold to do that here, as far as I'm
19
concerned.
degrees for a driver.
Too cold to do that here. But a lot of these deals are great and they're online. So one, and I know you've got it there next to you, Putt Out.
Putt Out.
We've always been big fans of Putt Out, and it's a great tool for working on your game.
This is pretty cool, actually. It's a nice gift to give someone because anybody can use it. Studio apartment to a house to an office. We've loved this pressure putt out trainer for years.
Yep.
They just came out with this new one. You get this in the mat. I believe it's marked down by like 19% or so.
29% off.
29%
$100 for the starter studio training mat.
And this is like your average gift price for that someone in your life, right? $100. So here, boom.
So I think it's whether you're buying for yourself or you're getting ready, getting those things ticked off for your holiday gifts. That's a great one. And I still to this day maintain that is the truest rolling mat that
I love that mat. Yeah.
We've used a lot of different putting greens. I just like the speed of it. It's very true. It lays flat really quick. So that's always a great one. Another one too, and I know like for anybody cynical out there, I understand because you guys know we've worked closely with Rapsodo. They've been a sponsor before, but the truth is we wouldn't work as closely with someone if we didn't believe in the product. A lot of it comes with us believing in the product first and kind of talking about it, and then sometimes doing some sort of deal with a sponsorship or something like that. I put Rapsodo firmly in that category. We all love using the Rapsodo mobile launch monitor, and we're very fortunate that they also work with us from a sponsorship standpoint. That said, like this is a deal that I just think is incredible no matter what. They've got $349. Now normally it's $499. The launch monitor itself, mobile launch monitor, the best price we've ever seen on it, because they usually do a great deal just for our listeners. But $349 is the cheapest I've seen it. But to me, the no-brainer is, if you pull that back up again for a second, Zach, that plus the subscription, which the subscription unlocks things like the combines and some of the data storage and things like that, $399. Usually $599, usually $600.
It's
you get
silly.
it for $400.
It's a no-brainer.
No brainer. I mean, and don't take our word for it. Zach over there, you recently did the challenge we did with 100 swings. You got to use a little bit, not even, being a golfer prior. Like, what was your experience of it?
Well, I thought it was just really easy. Like that was probably
setup,
like
right?
just ease of use was number one for me when I was using the Rapsodo. I used it for 3,000 shots over the span of 30 days.
Right.
And it rarely ever failed on me. The battery life was great. A lot of times I would charge it and it would last 2-3 sessions of 100 shots. So like battery life is great. It works indoors. It works outside.
That's what I love.
At pretty much every range I was at. The indoor numbers that I was getting with it were great. Like just the amount of information that I was getting, even just being inside, was pretty crazy. Being able to see like not being
It's
able
incredible
to see,
the technology for that small and cheap.
Yeah, for sure. Because you're playing inside, you're hitting the mat, and it's not really, you can't really see where the ball is going. You can't see ball flight or anything like that. But the Rapsodo, it would tell me exactly like where
you
my
hit
shots were going.
right.
Yeah,
and
you
it
get a
makes it
built-in
from a
tracer.
training tool. It makes it
Pretty much invaluable.
And that's the thing. Like when I look at something like that, we kind of like going back to what Rory said. Like he never believed he'd be where in the spot where he was. I never would have believed that mobile launch monitors and launch monitors, personal launch monitors. I never thought we'd see the day when you'd have them for $350.
Right. Never.
I just didn't. Like I remember like when even just like Trackman and thinking like we would go to places to use their launch monitors. It was only like 4 or 5 years ago. You would go, it would be like $20,000, $30,000 radar devices. Now technology is becoming so small, compact, and easy to use. It's incredible.
And also, I just want to say, every time I went to the range, everybody was looking at me like, "What does this guy have?"
Yeah, I can't go to range without it. 'Cause there's no point, in my opinion.
Can't go to the range without it.
Once you have it,
it's you're hooked.
So, like, if you were somebody who's waiting to pull the trigger on it, this is the week to do it. Similarly, some of the other tech devices out there, Precision Pro, the NX10 is only $250. It's 17% off for the holiday, for Black Friday.
Which I love, by the way. The custom sleeves are out there.
Yes,
Here they are,
including
guys.
you got to do our own pitch there
Upside
for
down.
our own sleeves, the Golficity sleeves for it.
Which they got a ton of others. Check out their store on Precision Pro's website.
And then the other one too, ShotScope. We always highlight their deal. They've got the best price we've ever seen on it. V3 watch.
How much is the
stat
V3
tracking,
for this?
$159.99, which I think you can't beat. But where I think the savings really comes in, the reason why we've been using ShotScope for so long is because there's no subscription fee.
No subscription fees on this thing. It's
So
super
you
small,
pay it
super
one
sleek.
time, you get everything. There's other ones where you get like they take a lot of the price out of the device because they really make their money as a subscription.
Yep.
You pay like $100 for a device, but then you're paying $15, $20 a month in subscription. It adds up quick. There's no subscription fee for that. Other things, like I said, keep an eye on those third-party companies because when especially if they've got like any extra inventory, or sometimes they'll even sell some things as a loss just to get you shopping with them.
Right.
So you take advantage of it where you can. I know Global Golf has a TaylorMade Spider GT Black 3-putter marked down from $349 to $249.
That's
So
a nice price.
$100 on the putter.
A lot of places I'm also seeing are selling last year's model, or if they're coming out with something new. Like Amazon's got a great golf Black Friday golf deals. Like they got a landing page.
Yep.
I think if you're a Callaway Chrome Soft person, you can get the 21 model for $20 a dozen. So you just got to be out on the lookout for them.
You got to be like, because like at this point they're all pressured to do some sort of deal,
Right.
Because they know everybody else is going to. But anything you're looking for, I mean, if you're just looking to get out there and walk more, Bag Boy, they've got their tri-swivel push cart, the second generation, for 19% off, $290.
Yeah. That's
So
a nice
again,
price for
whether
that
you're
too.
getting something for yourself or if you're looking for like a gift for a certain price point, that's a good one. And then another thing we've been having some fun with, and we got a video coming out soon on this. We've been experimenting even more with the VR golf, the Golf Plus game for the Oculus.
Yeah,
which
fun.
will probably have its own deals, especially there's a new Oculus that just came out. So
Right.
the Quest 2 would look for deals on that. But if you want something to have a little fun, little VR golf over the winter, and we're going to show you a really cool controller device handle that makes it seem so much more realistic. We've got a new video we're putting together on that. But Golf Plus will be $29.99, which is, I mean, how do you beat that?
That's pretty sweet.
For that video game. And then you can buy like individual, they're rolling out more and more courses. So they just have Pinehurst number 2.
Sweet.
Like it's like $7 to buy the course.
Yeah.
And it's really incredible once you get in those goggles how realistic it is.
It's incredible.
I don't think it's realistic like work on your golf game realistic.
Agree.
But I think like scratch the golf itch, definitely.
Definitely.
And then I love the multiplayer. We did a video on that where like you could be on the other side of the country and we could play a match together.
Yep.
And you're hearing
How
each
cool
other.
is
It's
that?
like kind of like being out there with your buddy and you're playing golf. So look for that type of deal. Like you said, Amazon always has those deals. And then just whatever your favorite brands are, just that's the time. Just take the 2 seconds to just check them on Friday and on Cyber Monday. Just grab what you can.
That's it, man. Shop.
Grab what you can.
Get it.
Yeah.
Spring
All
will be
right.
here soon.
Let's do a quick break. Let's do a word from our sponsors, and then we got to run through this list and have a little laugh here because there are some incredibly
I can't wait to see that number 1
odd
trophy again.
trophies out there. And maybe you guys listening in, you're thinking of a couple of them already that might make the list, but we may even have a few surprises in there. So let's take a quick break. Let's do a word from our sponsors. We'll come right back. All right, we'll get you right back to the video in a second, but first we want to tell you that we've partnered with DraftKings. We've got an incredible deal for you this week. That's right, the weather is cooler, the days are shorter, and it's the holiday season, which means spending time with friends and family. Thanks to DraftKings Sportsbook, today's video sponsor and an official sports betting partner of the NFL, you've got plenty to keep you and your company entertained. New customers who sign up for DraftKings using our promo code Golficity and bet at least $5 on any pre-game moneyline football wager will get an additional $150 in free bets if their team wins.
Plus, the same game parlays, you can combine multiple bets from the same game to give yourself a shot at even bigger winnings. For those in a state where sports betting is not yet available, don't forget about DraftKings Daily Fantasy, where they have been innovating even more ways to win some cash throughout the season. DraftKings has been around for a while, so you know your funds are safe and you can withdraw whenever, wherever you want.
So, of course, you're not going to want to miss this deal. Make sure you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers, use that promo code Golficity. You're going to receive $150 in free bets if your bet hits after placing a $5 pregame football wager. That's promo code Golficity only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
All right, so speaking of gifts, if you want a fail-safe gift and be the hero in the holidays, a dozen Pro V1 or Pro V1Xs,
Can't go
right?
wrong.
You cannot go wrong. And we know that Titleist is the number 1 ball in golf, but do you know how they earn this title? Well, it's simple. The Pro V1 and the Pro V1X are the most played golf balls in the game. And you know what? It's not even close. And I know you know this because we did this. It's not even close. In fact, it's surprisingly
not close.
Right. In fact, most weeks, more than 70% of the field tee up a Pro V1 or a Pro V1X, and the numbers are more impressive even on the amateur level, as they've been proven to be the number 1 ball of choice for the NCAA, the U.S. Amateur, the U.S. Women's Amateur, the U.S. Junior, and just
The
so
ones
on
who are
and so
not
forth.
getting paid to play the ball.
Exactly. They're not getting paid to play the ball, but they're playing it anyway. It shows how much they trust this important piece of equipment. So make Titleist your number 1. Tee up the Pro V1 or Pro V1X in your next round and always bring your best.
Hey, and the other thing too, I know we're really talking about holidays here, and I always say this, you may be shopping for someone else, or maybe you just want to treat yourself, or you want to start dropping hints. But FootJoy, we recently checked out the MyJoy customization that's on there. Both you and I, I'm speaking for you, but I know, like we talked about so much, Premier's has been our real go-to shoe. And there's so much, not only just like the look off the shelf, some great looks, but there's so much customization. And actually, you can really lose yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff you can do. And customizing the different materials, the different prints, the things like that. So you can, whether it's like for yourself and you want to kind of show off your own style, or if it's something you're celebrating something, you can kind of like mix and match. If you've got some team colors you want to put in there, really give yourself, it's not only are they like such great performing shoes, but they can be a real talking point.
They can.
People get out there and be like, oh, that's cool. That's different. What do you got going there?
We're going to break them out. Ours out on the show when they arrive because we just did it.
So we just did a custom. I did one. I tried to do like a real replicating like a vintage style and trying everything. So we've got some really fun stuff coming. But go on to footjoy.com. Check out the MyJoy. You can go through, like I said, if for nothing else, it's just kind of fun because you can see it on the screen as you kind of poke through and change out the different patterns. You can make some really cool looking shoes and then really show off your own personalization when you're out there on the course. So check it out. Go to footjoy.com. Check out the MyJoy. And hey, if you do make one, like maybe post it on social and tag us. We'd love to see what you guys come up with.
Yeah.
It's always cool to see what you guys come up with. But check it out at footjoy.com. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, so here's how we're going to do this. We're going to start at number 10 and work our way up.
And there was more than 10. I think we found 30.
We even have a couple of honorable mentions here that we could get into. We can mention those in a second.
But these are the 10 ugliest golf trophies we've ever seen.
Right. And I know ugly subjective. We're just kind of having a little bit of fun with it.
Sure.
But they're quite unusual. And usually, it's not just us. Usually the ones that kind of catch the most tongue-in-cheek heat on social media whenever the trophies make their way.
They do.
So starting at number 10, we've got the Zozo. And this is one that I think, didn't a couple people dress up as the trophy?
Yeah, I remember like Travis Fulton did it. When Tiger won it, they went Tiger mock red, black, and then they took like a big fan.
And they dress up because it's like, it almost looks like something maybe that was designed by Dyson or something. So I'll try to describe this for anybody who's listening. But it's basically, it's a wood base there. And then you've got a big metallic circle, but it does look like something that the Dyson fan company.
Yeah, or you could dip the whole top in like bubbled liquid and just blow massive bubbles out. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, a big bubble blower. But well, if you win it, we're assuming that you've got a pretty big house.
You're gonna
need one to display this thing.
Yup.
Because if that in my house, it would stand out quite a bit.
Yeah, it would stand out.
Like, where do you put that thing?
And it's not the ugliest one on. I mean, that one, if I won that, I'd be thrilled.
I'd be thrilled winning any of these.
Of course.
And they're going to only kind of get worse.
Not too
but
ugly.
That one does catch a little attention. So we'll show it here one more time. There's your Zozo. And guys, if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to weigh in your comments. Maybe if you think anything should be a different spot in the ratings. But there's the Zozo. That thing it's something. Moving up to number 9, we've got what we're going to call the Wave. This is for the Century. And describing it here, it's clearly it's made of glass. It's a big curved blue
with
glass wave, but there's also a whale's tail just kind of in one side of it.
Yeah.
But what we said is, what does this look like?
Like a decorative piece for like a summer home.
Yeah.
Like at the beach.
It looks like something you get at Pier 1 Imports.
Pier 1. Yeah.
Like your wife comes home with this
Hawaiian
and you're like,
Pier 1.
what are we doing with this? She's like, it's for the dining room table.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I actually would like to put that on my mantle.
But one thing, it doesn't
for no
like
golf
trophy.
relation.
It's got a very Hawaii vibe, but it doesn't have it doesn't look like a trophy.
It doesn't look like a trophy in my.
But we'll bring that one up one more time there. So it's just
see the wave.
Like I said, it's a bluish wave. There's DJ holding it up, and
it's a good one.
It's very Hawaii, that's for sure. Very Hawaii.
It is.
So that's number 9. Number 8, another tropical location, is the Bermuda. We're gonna call it the Bermuda Triangle. Here.
This one I got a bone to pick with. They just couldn't come up with anything more creative. I mean, I get the triangle, but what we're looking at is just a wooden triangle with maybe only 3 names on it.
No frills, no nothing. And that's for the Bermuda Championship.
They made that in like a 3rd grade wood shop class.
It's just very on the nose.
Over.
Hey, it's a Bermuda. Imagine the meeting that they're having. What are we going to do for the Bermuda? Like for the
I got it. What about a massive triangle made out of wood?
I feel like this would be a perfect SNL skit. Like you have like the team that just somehow this is non-existent team that just comes up with all the trophy designs. I love it. And one guy stands up. He's like, I got it. A triangle.
They could have made that a little better. I'm thinking driftwood. It's something. I don't know.
It's small too. Pull it up one more time there.
Make it a little bigger.
But anybody listening, it's
Sailboat?
just basically it's like 2 wood platforms and then just a wood triangle on top.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like it's got the plaque on the front. It looks like maybe who's won it in the past. But yeah.
Hey, whatever.
There's your triangle.
It earned him a spot to the Masters, right? What does it matter?
Now, moving up the list. Now, talk about something that looks like just home decor.
Yep.
This one is just a rooster. And what was this for?
This is the Sanderson Farms Classic, man.
Sanderson Farms.
Now, you hang in the, I mean, we said we were putting these
don't you have this in your house?
I have something similar in my kitchen. It's not the Sanderson Farms trophy, but it's a glass rooster. It's a big Italian thing.
Yeah. You just got to have like a rooster somewhere.
You have to have a rooster in an Italian household.
This is something you get at like TJ Maxx, right?
Yeah. You go to Home Goods for that.
Home Goods.
That's a Home Goods job.
You got your rooster.
And, beautiful rooster, by the way.
And I understand.
I love the detail
it's the
on it.
Sanderson Farms. It's a farm. It's a good-looking rooster.
Right.
But it's a rooster.
It's still a rooster, and it's tough to win. There's jokes
it's
that
almost
come with
like the issue with this is like if someone didn't know you played golf, they come into your house, they wouldn't know you had a trophy.
No, it would just look like.
I mean, if you had that like on the mantle in a certain spot, maybe, but otherwise it's just like, oh, that's you won. You won that. Oh,
that's what
I just thought that was.
I just thought it was a ugly rooster.
No, it's just a rooster. All right, number.
They get
6.
worse, guys.
They do get worse, and we're gonna have an animal theme here. The next couple.
Uh-oh.
So number 6 here. This is for the Mayakoba, right? So we've got.
We got this is the current Mayakoba, which they've upgraded.
So
I couldn't find any white ones on Instagram.
Okay,
but anybody who's seen this event knows the Mayakoba. It's the chameleon trophy.
Yep.
Right, because it's also caught in a little bit of slack on
Yeah, because
social
nobody
media.
knew what it was when it was
Well,
all
it
one
was
color.
all white. It
Yeah.
looked like just like a
Looked like rocks or something. I
like
didn't know what it was.
like almost like a plaster or something. And it's just this chameleon. So at least if nothing else, it's basically it's getting a better spot, a more preferential spot. On
I love what they did
They
with
added
it,
a little
though.
bit of color, but bring that back up, Zach. We'll explain this. So it's a chameleon. It's now very colorfully painted, and it's on just a wood block. Again,
I think that would look really nice in
the
someone's
local, Mayakoba and stuff like that. But I kind of feel like give these guys like a more like trophy looking trophy, and then that can be like the extra.
That could be the extra.
That goes right on the coffee table at Mike's Beach House.
100%.
right. That's what I say. This is another thing. It just looks like beach house decor.
100%. But yeah, give them a part 2 trophy. I like it. Get the Masters green jacket, and then you get the house trophy.
Yeah.
Same.
Now listen, I know. Just hang on, because some of these may be like you guys might be thinking these are not.
Yeah,
that
you might think
bad.
they're a joke.
You might think these aren't terrible.
Oh,
They're
okay.
gonna get worse. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get through one more of our animal ones, and this is where they're starting to turn the corner of getting a little bit worse. I don't know what event this is, but pull the cow up.
Just pull the cow up,
Just
Zach.
pull the cow up.
What a
Now,
week,
This is an
Switzerland.
LPGA tour, maybe even a European.
It's a
LPGA
Switzerland
tour
event.
So it's in Switzerland. Now I'm going to describe this. It's a wood block and then a carved wood cow that looks literally exactly like a toy a little kid would have, like a carving. Like I feel like if you put wheels and a string on this, a kid would be pulling
Could just
this
pull
around,
it back and forth.
right?
Yep. I
But
love
then
the
it's
bell.
got
I think the
this
tail is a
huge
string.
bell.
Yeah.
I think the most expensive part of this is probably that
That
bell.
gold bell.
That bell. But then it's colored blue and wood.
Blue and wood. And do cows' tails that long? I think so, right?
Cows got long tails.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's aggressively
That's
long.
an aggressively long tail.
But it looks like a child's toy. And I get it. Again, you don't have to, like it's just like it's for the area and the local and the cow, whatever.
Yep.
But come on, put this thing on your mantle, and people are like, "That's a nice cow."
Cows are a lifeline in that area of the world. A lot of food is beef based, milk based. Like when I go to Austria, a lot of cows. Like
All
cow
about
is
the
like the
cows.
number one, like held highest.
And it's truly celebrated
sir.
in that trophy. That's for sure. So we got a cow. Now let's get weird. Our top 4 are about to get a little bit weird.
Let's get weird.
I'm gonna call this one the hand from the grave. Now this one again gets a little like, and now I'm
The
just picturing
JP
this thing just
McManus,
on your
right?
mantle. Look at this thing. So this is the JP McManus Pro-Am Trophy, and it's to describe it, it is a gold, very detailed, very realistic looking hand holding a silver golf ball.
Cousin It vibes. Yeah.
It is some Cousin It vibes. I feel like even holding on your hand, it just feels like a
But I'll
disjointed
tell you,
human hand.
It is. I'll tell you what, though. The gold and the ball, I'm digging this as a trophy if I won this. Look at that thing. It's a gold hand.
I feel like that's the type of thing I put that on my counter and it would creep my kids out.
Creep him out.
They'd be like, "Dad, can you put that away?"
Yeah. Right.
If I won this thing, I would have to wear a long sleeve shirt.
You'd be that
to
guy
the
walking
trophy
around with it.
presentation, and I would have it like in my arm like this.
Yes.
Like arm
Chubs.
out.
Shaking hands, right. But you bring that up one more time. So this is literally something that I know would creep my kids out.
Yeah.
It just looks like a golden hand reaching up from the grave to hand you a golf ball.
That's wild.
That one's different.
It's
that One's
unique.
different.
It's
That
unique.
one's different. Now, speaking of different, this one, I don't know what to say. I at some point we had to question whether it was real or not, and all the respect and admiration in the world for Nelson Mandela. But
This one, yes.
this looks like a lamp that had the lamp removed. And it's just the base of a statue lamp. Bring this thing up, Zach.
Here we go.
Look at this thing. We got a close up of it too. It's to describe this. It's a like almost a clay. I want to say like a clay or something sculpture of Nelson Mandela reading a book to
like
a
7 or 8
bunch of
kids.
school children.
Yep.
There's like a bunch of kids. Again, great in a museum, maybe in a school,
Yep.
maybe,
But not a golf trophy.
but a golf trophy.
Yeah. It's unique.
It's very unique.
I'd like to know who's got that on their mantle. It's got to be. I think. No. I don't know who's won that one. That's an old time. event that doesn't
Well, this
exist
guy
anymore.
won
This
it.
guy's got it. That's for sure. Who is that?
Well,
I
it's
don't
the
know this.
Nelson Mandela Championship. And I get it. You want to pay homage to Nelson
Absolutely.
Mandela. But maybe not the trophy itself.
Again,
Some
that's
of
a
these
secondary
trophies I
trophy.
just feel like are a little too
Yeah.
literal. Like, give me a trophy. Maybe
him
it says
the steel
Nelson
cup.
Mandela Championship carved nicely into it. But instead I've got a
Bedtime
claymation of
That's what they call
Nelson Mandela reading to school children.
It is wild.
It's a wild one. That one's wild. And that's not number one.
That's not number one.
That's not number one. So we
and,
still have
and,
two
and
to
number
go.
2, which we're about to do, was number 1 for a
I'm
while.
going to have fun just, if nothing else, describing these to our audio audience
Yeah.
here. So number 2 here, we just call it the nut.
And I thought that this should have been number 1.
We had it at
in
number
my
1 for a
opinion,
while,
this
but
should have been
something,
number
believe it or
1.
not,
This
is worse
yeah,
than this.
it could have taken that spot, but bring up the nut. There she is. Now, there's a lot of things that you could describe this thing as looking at like,
yep.
and I can't talk about all of them here.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you what it looks like to me, and I'm going to say this so anybody who's listening, probably, you want to call it a coffee bean?
I was going to say an oversized coffee bean
or some other type of
with the
bean,
crack
nut
forward.
legume situation. And it's
Legume.
huge. It's the size of his torso, the guy who won it holding it.
Yep.
And it's just being held by like some sort of silver or like metallic thing, but it is the color of a coffee bean. It just looks like a huge coffee bean. I mean, like probably a 2 foot tall coffee bean.
Yep.
But it also looks like,
Like,
a lot of
yeah, a lot
other
of
things that if you were just walking
that
by
are,
and it
like,
caught you out of the corner of your eye, you'd be
X-rated.
like, what is that?
Yeah, right.
But
right.
that one, that's
Right.
not the prettiest trophy
That's
I've ever seen.
something I would probably just hand back.
Does it say in the caption what that's for? What event that's for? Does that say there, Zach?
The MCB Tour Championship?
That's the Tour Championship?
MCB.
Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, because it kind of looks like down below. Kind of looks like down below.
It's just
it
probably
says
another
I feel like the
Tour.
C in
MCB
there
Tour
has got to be
Championship.
coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's an
Mountain House
interesting
Brew
one.
Coffee.
And
Something.
then
Could be.
let's hit you with number 1 here.
This thing I thought was a joke. And
I
Sergio's
thought it
won
was
this
too.
one.
Now we are going to definitely run the risk here of potentially picking on some native
Yeah. and
culture.
we don't know the
art,
story behind it. So
and
we
for
apologize.
that, I pre-apologize because this could be the only thing I could say. It looks to me is like ancestral
It does.
type of like
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 Spanish ancestry. That's
right,
what- yeah.
like when you go to the museum and we see like the first
Yep.
sculptures and carvings from like
As-
3,000
Yep.
years ago. It's either that or someone's kid made it.
one or the other.
It's one or the other. So let's bring this,
This is
thing
the,
up.
what is this? The Costello Masters? Which is also
cannot
known as
laugh at
the Mr. Potato Head statue.
Now, this is a huge event in Spain.
Yep.
It's perhaps Spain's biggest event. But the only way I can describe this is a wood carving trophy. It's the same year over year, so it's the trophy itself. It's not like it's changing. It's been famous for this, whatever it is, and it's probably about 1.5 feet tall. This man is probably 80% head.
Mr. Potato Head
His
is what they
Mr.
call it.
Potato Head vibes. He's got his arms and his
love his
legs all
pose,
kind of
though.
coming out of the same
You know,
spot.
it's just like
He's got a golf. So maybe go bring that back up. Maybe this is definitely not 3,000 years old because he's got a golf club. And then on his head, does he
he
have
has a
like
golf ball.
a golf ball and a green on his head?
It's like the sod and the ball are on his head.
And his eyes are kind of like bulging out. So
I think it's pretty
again,
brilliant.
I don't know if it was designed by a
It's art.
local artist, if it's some sort of historic, but if you just saw it and didn't know what it was, you'd be like, "Are you kidding me?"
I would love one.
Is
of those
that the only
trophies.
angle we have of it? Because I know there's a lot of
Yeah.
other angles
Yeah,
out
you
there.
probably can't find that thing anywhere.
Yeah,
Sergio probably
You
doesn't
don't
even still
want it.
have it.
Sergio's got that like in the back of a closet somewhere.
There he's like,
But that one
That
takes the cake.
cake.
We'll bring it up for you guys one more time just so you can have a cool nightmare tonight. There's your nut. He loves that nut. There he is, Mr. Potato Head.
I love
That's
it.
a golf trophy right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is a golf
Now we
trophy.
do have some honorable mentions, and then because we couldn't fit them in the top 10 list, and then after that, Zach and I put together a fun segment, and what we did was I took random things from around my house.
Okay.
And let's just say even those random ugly things are still better than half the trophies on the list.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get to that in a sec. So let's run through some of these honorable mentions.
All right. So number 11, the Safeway barrel.
The Safeway barrel.
So of course it's wine country.
Yup.
So you got a wine barrel there. Again, something with me not wanting to go too literal with these. Like I feel like, okay,
Right.
that's cool, but like give me a real trophy and I can keep the barrel as a little side gift.
Exactly. Don't get too literal.
Then you've got the Rocket Mortgage. This one, we have a bone to pick with this because we're like, how do you
stand it up?
stand this up?
It's got to come with a base.
I feel like this is like a Larry David skit or something where he's like, I won this thing, but I don't know what to do with it.
I don't know what to do with it.
Like,
Right.
do I lay it on its side?
You know, the base comes like 3 weeks later in the mail
Right.
with instructions.
And then the thing was like the people from the tournament would come to Larry's house and then they would see he had it displayed wrong and they would get upset with him. Right?
Right.
But I'll pull that up. Pull that one more time. It's clearly it's a T and it's like it's part of the logo.
The Rocket Mortgage.
But it looks like it's got to come with some sort of base.
It's got to.
One thing that we didn't put on this list that I just personally think is not in great taste is the trophies that are just the logo of the event sponsor.
Yeah, like the Fortinet and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, it's like okay, I understand you
The
paid a lot of money,
Valspar.
but like on the same token, like can you just not throw your logo in?
And I think we have the Valspar. Here's one example right
So
there.
here's the
that's pretty cool.
It's cool, and it's not logo. So
right. It's is the paintbrush and the golf ball. Not terrible, but there are some that are literally it is just the logo. The company logo is your trophy, and then
Right.
you've got that on your shelf
Right.
forever.
Right, forever.
But we'll
The John Deere Classic is a deer jumping off a green.
yeah. But hit
Which,
me with your
here-
bonus segment.
here's
here.
that.
There's the John Deere.
All right.
There are some either way. There are some very unique and funky golf trophies out there. If we missed any, put them in the comments. Let us know. What
All
do you
right,
got?
so Zach, the first one we're gonna run with. Let's start with the time I won the 2012 Fine Arts Invitational, brought to you by Sotheby's. This one was a good one.
Is that this one?
Yep, there it is. There's Jay there to.
So you're telling me that thing is something that's in your house?
Yeah, everything here is in my house, and I think all of them are better than some
Bring
of the
that
top
back
three.
up so we can see it there. Oh my goodness!
You know, and that was one of my first wins. Let's go to the 2015 Botanist Best Ball Tournament, brought to you by the Alpine Nursery and Garden Center. This one was good. Which one is that? Yeah, that's the palm plant, which was one of my favorite.
This is like not even an attempted Photoshop. You just slapped yourself in front of somebody else.
I did this, and Mike gave me
I gave the worst-
potentially
I gave
the
the worst
worst
wall to do it.
photos to
Oh, my
Photoshop.
goodness.
But that
He was not on a that wall in his living room that's like just the bricks.
Yeah.
He took all of the photos in front of that, so he had no
Fired.
solid background
solid
for me to
backdrops for the
Photoshop
editor.
off of. So the Photoshop was really bad, and I just it was taking way too much time. So
The
Zach,
fact of just like, guys, if you can just like put yourself and realize for a second that Mike spent part of his weekend taking pictures
this was a Sunday night job.
of things around his house as trophies.
And I give him credit because I was hitting him like 8 p.m. last night, like text him like we got to
he
do this
was.
tomorrow.
Oh,
This,
my.
Like
this
last
didn't,
minute.
this didn't even
Goodness,
exist
this
until
poor
like
guy.
7:30.
And big shout out
last
to our
night.
guy Josh, who was also in on it, who helped me with some of the names of these tournaments.
Meanwhile, like Zach, I can only imagine Zach gets these messages like, "What do these guys want me to do right now?"
I'm laying in bed
Idiots.
last night at like 8:30, and Mike's starting to text me, and I'm like, I need to like
Get out of bed. I got a picture of me with a
form some
plant that I
ground
need to do
rules
something
here.
with.
bring up the 2019 Handyman Classic presented by Ace Hardware. Look at my face.
Yeah. I love that you went through shirt changes for
I
this.
changed on every single one.
Oh my goodness!
All right, now let's keep.
Wait,
them-
one more time. What's the expression? Like you're unhappy to win this one?
This one, I had no idea why I had this trophy. This was the one I was stunned
That's
with.
the Ace
Why are they
Hardware.
handing me this?
You went low that week.
I went
Ace
super low
Hardware.
at the
Yeah,
Ace. But you know, I get an exemption every year. I get to go back.
that's right.
The this was a great event. The 2016 Show Me Your Tail Feather Championship presented by Sprove Market.
Is that the peak?
That is our turkey winner, and I'll tell you something. It's perfect for this week. Look at that thing, Zach. Can you zoom in on that? Is that possible?
I
Wait
don't
a
think I
minute.
can.
That thing is in your house. What is that?
So it's a candle closed with a Thanksgiving aluminum turkey on top of it.
oh my god.
That was the shootout.
Who do I have to blame for that? You or your wife? Who
That's my
brought
wife.
that into the house?
She buys that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I never go with
We're gonna
decorative
make sure to
shopping.
pose with it next. All right, what do we got next?
All right, I think we got one more, right, Zach?
Yeah, Mike went to live.
I went to Live to test it out before Live became a thing, and that's where I won the inaugural Peacock. Now that's your race to Dubai height trophy. Here.
That is.
So it's a metal stool with a bent leg and a random peacock. And there's Norman just.
I have to
saying-
ask again. That is also something in your house.
Yes.
What is going on over there?
But believe it or not, I think most of them are better than I think the top 3 of
at
our
the
list.
Mike household.
So there's my.
You got second billing too. You had to stand behind Norman for that.
Oh yeah, I couldn't be in front there.
No.
Live wasn't a thing yet.
It wasn't even.
It was a test market. I'd never been back. I
You're
didn't like the
only
54
guy who
hole thing.
paid to be on Live
Yeah,
instead of getting
I
paid.
paid.
Yeah, you had to pay for that one.
Well, there you go.
And that's concludes our series of Mike taking pictures with things around his house.
Part one, at least.
I think my favorite part of that was the names.
Thank you. And you can thank Josh for that too, because he sent me that list this morning.
You guys, the
Sprove
two of
Market.
you.
I didn't even ask questions to him. I'm like, I'll take it.
What you guys come up with. All right. Well, have fun coming up with some of your own. Maybe take some pictures of stuff in your house.
Can we
that
see?
looks like
Yeah, what would you
trophies
do?
And tag us on Instagram or Twitter. We would love to see it. I can only
would.
imagine what some of
I
you
can
might come up with.
only imagine.
Half of it, the battle's the name. I want the name too. What was the event you won? And take a picture with what you won.
Bingo.
And we're going to see those.
And dude, happy birthday to you. It's your birthday week. Cheers, man.
Thank you, man.
Enjoy
And
it.
happy Thanksgiving to
Yep.
everyone out there. We'll see everybody again next week.